Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lilly Sketchpad, brought to you by Force One Studios. I'm your host, Tom Lilly. Anyway, so today I am going to be working on some more rough sketches. Yes, that's right. I have not gotten to the finished product yet. I do apologize, but it's been a rough couple weeks. I am working overtime at a full-time job. Try to accommodate my family and help out as best I can in tumultuous times, to say the least. Anyway, if you wonder why my voice has suddenly gone deeper, I think I've told you guys this yesterday. I had recently come to realize that I stutter. So apparently I've stuttered quite a bit all of my life. I just never realized it. I was always told that I'm a very well-spoken person. That's why a lot of people used to excuse me. Oh my God, that's horrible to do that. And I do apologize once again. I was always told that I was a well-spoken person. One of the things that many people liked about me. I used to be thoughtful in how I spoke. I always thought out what I was saying. And I guess over time I've gotten lazy because I've spoken less and less to people. But I am trying to do better with that, and one of the things I know that helps me out tremendously is I lower the pitch of my voice, I talk a little slower, and I also try to think out what I'm going to say before I say it. It helps, makes things better, but sometimes I do tend to roll back into old bad habits, and I have to make sure that I don't do that. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the next wonderful little segment here before I get drawing, and y'all all love this one. At least I hope you do. Let me know if you don't. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a pain in the butt. I hope not, but hey. I'm still going to try to promote it because I believe in this independent cause. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right. We are at Books to Back. All right, with our Books to Back segment, basically what I do is I go over books that I have found that are very interesting, that people like, that I like, that I think are very good and wise investments, and also help our cause. Well, there are a few of us out there. I have recently joined the movement. I'm not an official member of the movement. I should say I'm a fan of the movement. I believe in it. Only way I'll become a member of that movement is by once I get my own book ready for publishing, and I'm working on that. I promise you, I am working on that. But that takes time, and I don't have a lot of it, but I'm going to make this happen. I have no choice. I am almost 50 years old, and it's driving me crazy that I have not yet published my own book. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done a web comic, digital comic, with a friend of mine years ago, from the UK, but it was called Web of Angels. It was done through Diomedes Productions, and Diomedes Productions was originally a concept I came up with years ago. I was thinking about using if I ever went into film, and I had this wonderful logo, and I offered it up to a friend who was Mark Hogan, lives in the UK, former band member of the Filthy Souls, was the drummer for the band. Anyway, he came up with this comic book idea called Web of Angels, and I was the illustrator for it. We did exactly one issue. Was working on the second issue when I had to, unfortunately, and I apologize for this, Mark, I had to bail on the project. The reason why I had to bail was because my family was in financial dire straits. We were losing our house, and I had to find some work so that we could survive. And it took me a while, but I was able to do it. Anyway, enough of the bad news. Cut that out. Cut that out. Anyway, sorry. I believe I stole that from, what was the name of that show? The one with the old man, the three men living with these children in the house. I believe that was Full House. Anyway, yeah. So let's continue on, shall we? Anyway, so we're back to backs to book. No, backs to book. Books to back. All right. First up, we got Van Klaus here. Now, the reason why I'm starting with Van Klaus is because Van Klaus has literally only got 23 hours left in his campaign, and I've got to publish this soon so you guys know. Van Klaus's 23 hours left in his campaign. The name of the book is Monster MD, and he's currently sitting at 34,708. Let's see if we can make that bad boy 35 before it closes out, even 30, because it's actually making some significant jumps. It was originally at 22 last time I checked, and now I'm looking at it. It's at 34,708. Going to 40 would be fantastic. So let's see if we can make that happen, folks. Next up on this bad mammy jammy is my favorite friend, Elliot Fernandez. Yes, Elliot Fernandez's Doom Kicker. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause. Yay! For Elliot. He extended the deadline. Oh, this is phenomenal news for all of us, because guess what? It is actually starting to pick up pace and moving at a phenomenal rate. It's currently sitting at 40,640, and he's given us a whole another 28 days to come up with the funds, folks. It's not impossible. Listen, my bills got paid for the month, and I went ahead and contributed 2 more campaigns of myself. So it is possible. Squeeze a little extra cash here. Let's make this happen and make this movement a success. This indie movement. The movements don't last forever. I would like to see this one last for a while, at least until my book takes off. But I plan on doing more than just one. But I hope y'all will once again, if you will join us in this campaign, in these campaigns, plural, in these campaigns. Join us in these campaigns to try to make these books successful, make these artists successful, and prove to the world that it can be done successfully. Okay? If you can't share, or if you can't contribute to the campaign, please like and share this material. Sharing with the people is the second, or actually in some cases, a lot of the artists will tell you, is the best thing you can do for them. Sharing it with the rest of the world, because there are others, when you can't afford it, others might be able to, and we have a product being made, and that's the most important. Okay, a product being made and spread out to the world. That is the most important. Having this out amongst the world. I mean, a book of one is great, but if nobody's reading it, it's not all that good. A book of thousands is even better, and that's what we're trying to move towards. All right, next up we have Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jims. Done by Doug TenNapel. Man, this is the leader of the movement, and he is flying high with serious success. He's only got 13 days left on his campaign now. I can almost guarantee you, I'm not going to say absolutely 100%, but almost guarantee you, his deadline will not be extended. He did not extend the last one, and I doubt he's going to extend this one. He tries to make his campaigns genuine, or I'm not that I'm saying the others aren't genuine, but he tries to make it so that it's extra special for those who get in early. Okay, those who actually get in early or get in on this campaign. When the deadline ends, he closes the book on it, and he's already in production phase. He's already making the book. I mean, he does YouTube channels on this, folks, showing you how he inks the page, some of the story and let you in on the whole production of it. If you haven't checked them out, check them out on Doug to Naple on YouTube. But you'll see him there. He is currently sitting with 13 days left on his campaign, and he is at $338,362. Wow, that's a big boost for the comic geek industry. This is awesome stuff. The more you folks can help, the more you share, the better this looks for all of us. Okay, next we have up Mike Miller's Lone Star. Now, the great thing about Mike Miller's Lone Star is, guess what? You still can contribute. How do I know this? Because while I was promoting all this, the reason why I was promoting it so hard was that I loved the look of his artwork. I loved the book. I was not able to contribute till today, and I actually backed his program today. He's left it open to be back, even though the campaign's technically closed. Apparently, you can still contribute. You still add money to the cause and select a perk. So I did it. I went in and I selected my perk, and I'm looking forward to seeing this project because this looks really phenomenal. All right, at Mike Miller's Lone Star, Soul of the Soldier. Get in while you can before the door is completely closed, and you cannot contribute, cannot add, and cannot get in, or cannot get something out of it. Get in while you can, folks. Can't emphasize that enough. Next we have Gunship Thunder Punch. This done by Brian Shearer. Man, Brian Shearer is a funny guy. I'm sitting there cracking up, and as I'm listening to him and Ellie Fernandez having this show called Paranormals. Paranormals, not paranormals. Paranormals. PAIR-O-normals. Anyway, it's a very funny show. If you ever get a chance, check it out on YouTube. They usually host it every Thursday. Every once in a while, the time might change if something's going off and there's some kind of event. But if you can check it out, it's really awesome. But Brian Shearer has this project, Gunship Thunder Punch, and guess what? He's done everybody a world of a favor, and he too has extended his deadline, and he's currently sitting at $27,035. Folks, let's give a big hand of applause for this man. And if you can contribute, if you can't, share. Again, if you can't contribute, share. It's the most important thing, and that's what I've been doing the heck out of. I'm trying to share with everybody that I can. So anyway, that ends our books to back segment. Forgive me, folks. I am a little bit on the chagrin side, a little tired. I'm trying to do the best I can. It is, after all, for me, it is 4:12 in the morning, and I'm going to try and keep this show down to real quick one here. I want to switch this screen. Again, I apologize that I'm looking over here. I have to look over here because this is where my computer monitor is at. I plan on getting a second monitor soon, and I'm going to set that up, bad boy, right up underneath the camera. I'm going to have it right there so that I can see what's going on, and I do not have to keep looking over to the left or right. Yeah, right, left, over to the right. Do apologize. A little tired. Okay, here we go. Boom. Alright, now you guys saw this. Oh, I forgot. You guys saw this yesterday. I was working on this Batman pajama. Okay? And if you haven't, good. You get to follow through with today, see what's going on here. Essentially, what this is going to be the 1880s piece. This is the back when Ephraim or Rummy, where Rummy and Delilah meet, and this dealing with mostly with the story of Ephraim, the prologue story that I've been talking to you about, folks. The prologue story that I will be publishing for free on Webtoons. I'm going to do working on a script right now for for the prologue story. It's going to lead up to the Solomon's Temple. It just shows you it's a story. It shows you the beginning for Rummy, who's one of the villains in Solomon's Temple. Is actually the first villain that Callan comes up against. Anyway, so this image right here is just a quick, real quick little sketch of Rummy. Okay, it's not very detailed, not showing a whole lot, because Rummy here, he's 18th century, so his hair is completely slicked back, clean-mannered young gentleman. And then next to him is Delilah. All right, Delilah is a revenant who leads him down the path of ruination. Actually, he was already in the path of ruination, but then he cleaned himself up to only end up back in the path of ruination. And it's not entirely her fault, but she certainly kindled it on. Next, on this one right here, we have Sir Saxton, the master. He's a vampire, master of those two. And then behind Sir Saxton is going to be Sebastian. That is the head of Sir Saxton's private security. And then you'll see down here, I did a sketch of the doctor, the fine doctor who helps, Dr. Clark, who helps Ephraim Clark. Now, the reason why Ephraim and the doctor share the same last name is because when they saved Rummy, or / Ephraim, when they saved him, Rummy couldn't remember anything, couldn't remember his name, didn't know what happened, didn't know how anything happened, couldn't remember anything, so they gave him the name, bestowed upon him the name Ephraim Clark. Ephraim from the psychiatrist, the name of the psychiatrist who aided him, and Clark, the last name of the doctor who also helped, physician who brought him back and actually really physically saved his life, because he found him in the morgue where everybody thought he was dead and found out he wasn't actually dead. And then there's going to be a little sketch or a little drawing in here where it's going to be Rummy / Ephraim and Dr. Clark together over top of a cadaver. And then you're going to have down here a little 18th century Londonscape, or cityscape of 18th century London. And that little shadow you see right there is going to be a police officer, a bobby, as they call him back then. A bobby sitting there holding up his lamp, blowing his whistle, because that's what they used to do way back when. And that little lamp right there is a lamp post. It's not the lamp that he's carrying. That's the street lamp post. And they used to use gas street lamp posts back then. But the police officers, apparently what they used to do, from what I've read in stories, is they carried the lamps with them, and so when they were walking in dark corners, and not flashlights, because this is in the 1880s, they carried little tiny lanterns with them, and they had carried whistles, and if they found anything in the dark, during the dark of the night, they would run out in the street, blow their whistle to get more bobbies to come along, and they would hold up their lamps, signifying where they were at. Okay, so after that, you guys did not get to see this wonderful little piece. I did this afternoon, right before while I was getting ready for work, or before I was getting ready for work. This is actually going to be Rummy and Delilah in the current times. Well, as close to current as it possibly can with the story, because the story takes place about 10-15 years ago. Or 10-15, actually probably about 10 years ago, 10-15 years ago. Yeah, but that's about right. About 10-15 years ago. So anyway, so we got Rummy right here, and then Delilah, and they're kind of standing in the middle of a pack of wolves that are charging you at the screen. And it's kind of Rummy, because he's the leader of this pack of wolves, handing them off, saying, "Go ahead, go get them." And then Delilah's up next to him, hanging on to him, because she's also the leader of the werewolves. They share leadership. of these werewolves of this pack. And I don't want to give away too much more, but there's a whole lot. There's actually quite a bit more to that story, but we'll get into that later. Then you see these werewolves charging. There's one right in the front, and then there's one right behind that going around them. And then there's another one off to the back. And I plan on putting a couple more in the background back here. Just like, so you won't be able to see them, but there's just a whole lot of them. And then I'm even going to include some revenants, because they're actually going to be in control of some revenants as well. Now, if you don't know what a revenant is, if you have not seen my previous story, what a revenant is actually a human being cannot technically become a vampire. Vampires are strictly the condemned, who was in fallen form, which is human, but they have it, but they were the condemned. And the only way that a vampire exists is one of the condemned remembers, in their human form, in their fallen form, remembers what they were, which ignites a spark inside of them, and then that spark starts to consume their life force, basically consumes their blood. And in order to stay alive, or not really necessarily to stay alive, because they stay alive, but in order to keep themselves from becoming some dried up, hungry, crazed husk of a person, almost zombie-ish, but crazed, because they don't rot, but their skin and everything, they start to dry up and start to crumble up and become, but in order to keep that from happening, they have to consume blood to keep themselves replenished. So that's when they become their vampire form. After that, what happens is if a vampire chooses, because he's trying to make every vampire, every one of the condemned is trying to make their own little army on Earth. All right. If that vampire chooses and they want to make a person a revenant, not a vampire, because they can't make anybody a vampire, because again, only the condemned can actually be vampires. If they want to make somebody a revenant, which is close to a vampire, and many people in my story confuse the revenants for vampires. If they want to make somebody a revenant, they'll consume the blood, almost all the blood, almost to the point of death, where the person's conscious and still can make a decision for themselves, but they're almost drained of blood, and they give that human a choice. Do you want to join the army of evil? Do you want to join my army, and do you want to be my servant? If you do, you will live forever, or until something comes along and kills you, but you cannot get sick, you will not age, and unless something comes along and kills you, which is very hard to do, you almost won't die. You're near immortal. Pretty good thing if you weren't choosing to be evil, right? So, but you are choosing to be on the side of evil, and you're choosing the side of darkness. So, upon that choice, if you choose to become a revenant, they will go ahead and they'll slice themselves and allow you to drink from them, drink the blood from them. Once you drink the blood from them, I guess it's like a poison. You'll die, but then you'll reanimate and come back as a revenant. And that's how the revenants are formed. So anyway, in this story, I am going to have a few revenants, because it's not normal for vampires and a revenant to run this organization, but in the future, or in the current times, Delilah and Rummy actually do. And in order to find out how that happens, even though it's not most times doesn't happen, in order to find out what happens that cause that and how they become this, you're gonna have to buy the book, because I'm not giving it all away. So anyway, you see back here, I was put a revenant back here. And I'm gonna make it a generic one, just no. fancy little details. Oh, and if you're wondering who this fine gentleman up here is, he is actually one kind of sort of helps Delilah and Rummy. He is the character that I've been talking about, Baphomet. Or not Baphomet, excuse me, Baphomal. He is the character Baphomal, and essentially he doesn't, again, I'm not going to include him because you're going to see more of him in book 2. He'll basically be like a dark figured presence, and you'll know he's there in book 1. But I have a very specific look of how I want him to look, and if you want to find out more about his story and how he comes about, again, you'll have to buy the book. We got another Revenant back here. There we go. So anyway, that was my second rough sketch. Where I was gonna got Rummy, Delilah, Baphomal, 2 of the Revenants back here, and I'm gonna have 3 about maybe a 4th wolf. I'll probably put another wolf back here. I don't want to overburden it, clog it up too much. I might even go ahead and put a little full moon in here right there. It actually would look pretty cool. Just a full moon right there. Yeah, I think that actually look really cool. Okay, so that is my second piece. That's my second rough that you guys are gonna see, and I'm gonna I will do this one first, or maybe this one. I don't know. Whichever one really buttered my muffin, I guess you say, or it really sounds bad. Whichever one makes me want to draw it the most, I'll probably do it. I think to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna probably go with the first sketch. I think I'm gonna go with the first sketch first. That's the one, because this is gonna offer me the most challenge. I want to really, because I got to draw this book anyway. I really want to draw this London cityscape from the 1800s, and I also got to draw this little doctor's mortuary office thing in here, in this little corner here, and I got to make that look like it's from the 1800s. I'm gonna be looking up a lot of reference material for this, but that should be fun. So this will definitely be, but this most likely is going to be my first one. Then I'll do this one, and then as I go on my progress, I will obviously show you guys as much as I possibly can. All right. So next on the agenda, what we got next on the agenda? All right. These are my notes I had from yesterday, and I decided to free fly this show today, which has led me to a little bit of stuttering. Not a whole lot. A little bit of stopping them and never trying to figure out what I'm going to say. It's helping that I'm talking like this with a little bit of a deeper tone. It actually feels a little bit more natural. Probably should do this more often instead of talking. I usually try to talk a little bit higher because my voice carries a lot when I talk like this. When I talk deeper, and I've been told that it sounds too loud. So I started talking a little higher like this, so that it doesn't carry as much. It doesn't, I don't bother people. But it's more comfortable for me to talk like this. Okay, so yeah, no, that wasn't it. That was some of the talking points I was supposed to talk over with you yesterday. That didn't happen. Yeah. But I probably will do it today. How about that? Talk about that today. And y'all probably listen, come on, Tom. Do some artwork. That's what we're really here to see. Do some artwork. Alright. Cool. My next sketch was actually going to be of Callan, Aasia, and Ibrahim. Oh, very cool, very cool, very cool. I'm gonna actually go ahead and do that. do a rough sketch. How am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? Should I do them in Charlie Angel style? Might be an interesting thing. Do it in Charlie Angel style. I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I'm gonna do some thumbnail, really small thumbnails. I'll break that up like so. There we go. And with a shield. There we go. A little too small. But again, it's supposed to be a rough. Figuring that would be Aasia in the back. Aasia. That'd be Aasia. I chose the name because I was looking through Hebrew names and it just reminded me Aasia, and it's a beautiful name. But I realized later it might actually be pronounced different because it's Aasia. Is it still pronounced Asia or Aasia? I'm always gonna call her Aasia because I love that name. It's a beautiful name. But and then I don't know. Didn't you? Again, this is just the thumbnail rough. Do I want to do the same thing where I have the three of, like just face shots? Not really. I want to try and incorporate all three of them as whole characters. So, all right. So. Tried doing it in pencil only because it was their pen, but I think I need a little bit more of flexibility to erase. There we go. Hey, where is my eraser, dude? Oh, it's in my other pack. Yeah. It's in my other pack. Give me one moment, so I still apologize again for the delay. I have an eraser. There we go. Do. I might even actually make it. He's wearing. Nah, because that's right. If he's with Ibrahim, he is not a temple yet. Because the temple is actually Ibrahim. As long as Ibrahim's alive or can handle the task. Callan doesn't take up the mantle of Ibrahim until Ibrahim, or doesn't take up the mantle of Temple. Callan doesn't take up the mantle of Temple until Ibrahim falls. So.
And I'm starting to get really, really tired. Yes, I am.
Why? I want to draw, man. This is not cool, dude. It just seems like I've never got enough time. There's never enough time in the day. Never enough time in the day. I used to draw when I was on my trolley. I'd have like reasonable, like at least 10-15 minutes, but they're cutting back on the times lately and the recovery time because they're trying to provide more service to the customer, which I understand is good for the customer, but it is killing me because, yeah. And then also I've noticed lately where I used to have to go to the bathroom like once or twice during my shift. I gotta go to the bathroom more often. Getting old sucks. Like, the heck? It's not like I'm that old. Not even 50 yet. I'm closing in on it, but I'm not 50 yet. So that would be, that little image right there would be Callan with his shield. Now I want to. Ibrahim's about the same height as Callan. He's going to be back here a little bit more. And I'm going to have him fat legs, kind of hunched over his sword like this. Now another sword in his back that he hasn't pulled out yet. Each of it's the thing about each of the temple. They all have their own specific way they like using their fighting style, that they use their weapons. It's all similar because gotta remember, that Callan is actually trained by Ibrahim to become temple. And then we'll put Asia's gonna be here in the back. Actually, I want to bring her a little bit more out here. Just a little bit more out there. I don't want her sitting all the way in the back. She's an important character in the story too. She's going to be a very important character in the future stories. Very, 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 very important character in the future stories. You guys can take from that what you will. I'm not going to give away the story, what's going on, why. I don't want to give any spoilers. Again. So, that's a little better. That's going to be the three of them. I actually kind of like that little thumbnail. You have Aasia right here, which looks a little big and brawny. I mean, but the reality of it is it's supposed to be just a thumbnail, so I'm not looking for great specific detail. Right? But you have Aasia right here. You're going to have Callan right here. And then right there, you're going to have Ibrahim. They're all kind of standing together and like clutched together, but ready to put up the fight of a life, of their life. Now, in actuality, no, I don't want to tell you that because I don't want you to. I don't want to give away the story. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. All right. I put it on this show. Hold on a second. Oh man, this time goes by quick. Keep saying I'm on. Try and cut down the time on these shows. I'm already at 42 minutes. That book's the back segment. I might actually split that, make it its own segment. Like how about books a back segment, and I'll just like real quick. Hey, this is what's going on. Y'all should need to get involved type thing, and then I'll have another show where it's I doing my artwork. You guys tell me what you think I should do. Comments are welcome. As long as they're constructive, please try to keep them constructive. And heck, I don't care. You want to all out just telling me to go screw off. This show sucks. You suck. It's slow. It's boring. I can't take it no more. What the hell? Are you a horrible entertainer? I'll perfectly understand. I won't get too upset. I'll be hurt. My feelings will be hurt. I'm serious. My feelings will be so hurt. But better than nothing at all. Dead air, silence, say it. Now he's not going to be in his he's not going to be in his full temple get up here because, well, he's not temple yet. So, not if Ibrahim is in the picture. And now, obviously, y'all are sitting there saying, well, I mean, what if he's ambitious and he wants to take his mentor, his trainer out of the picture? With what they deal with, they dread the day that they're going to be out on the field by themselves. So I don't think any of these guys would ever deliberately sabotage to try to get in there first, because they want as much training as possible, because they're dealing with some really, really scary stuff. imagine, if you will, you wake up one day and find out that there's this evil brigade of beings made up of these creatures called the Condemned, who are come in three forms of fallen, vampire, and forsaken, who have a legion, or building a legion of army of revenant and werewolves, all to enslave the human race. Yeah, and this is just rough. I'm just taking that thumbnail and trying to add a little bit more detail so I can. This is what they call a rough, a preliminary rough. It's my rough. It's my puppy rough. What's up, rough? I love you, rough. Come back, rough. I miss you. I'm not allowed to own any dogs, by the way. My wife says I'm not home enough. I can't own my own puppy. What's wrong with her? She made me go out and work. I can't own my own puppy. Yeah. But I'm allowed to have cats. Lots and lots of cats. I love my little kitties. I can't argue with that. I love my little kittens. My little kittens are so awesome. They are awesome. And these little guys are called Napoleons, man. Little kittens called Napoleons. They never get really big. As a matter of fact, they got super short legs. All except for Bandit. There's two. I got two of them. I got Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah, I love that name. All right. And anyway, Smokey is this beautiful, perfect, long-haired, short-legged Napoleon. Just like all the pictures show of Napoleon. Meanwhile, Bandit, he's got more of a shorter hair. He's got short hair. It's still like rabbit soft, like Smokey's is, but it's shorter. He's got longer legs. He's still a small cat though, but he's got a little bit more normal legs. He looks a little bit more like a Persian than he does a Napoleon. There we go. So, and I don't like that up there. I think I'm gonna try to keep that straight up. Maybe off just a little bit. Just, I don't like it too far up. There we go. Yeah, it's not supposed to be perfect. Just trying to rough in the details. Rough in my details. Trying to get an idea. Trying to get a feel for what I want. Keep it going, keep her smiling, keep her flowing, keep denying how much it sucks. Oh boy. Here I go. I'm showing the real me. I make up funny songs. Yes, I do. making up a song today at work. See if I can remember what that was. I'm really going to show you guys how weird I am. And I got my passengers already know. I mean, they hear me all the time. I've had one passenger get on. She goes, "Hey, we all got to entertain ourselves in some way. You go, boy." I laughed when she said that, because I was bored driving my bus or operating trolley. Actually, that day I was operating the trolley, and I guess I was what was song, but today, I was singing a song, and she heard me, and she just laughed, sitting in front of the trolley, laughing, singing the song. But I'm trying to remember this. Oh my goodness, amazing! I had this song playing in my head all day long that I was singing. I was actually singing. I made it up myself, and now all of a sudden I can't remember it. That happens to me a lot. I always swore if I knew how to write music, if I knew how to write music, I'd probably make a really good songwriter. I just come up with stuff and think what it is I can't remember it later on. As soon as it's in my head, and as soon as I move on several hours later and I forget it, I'm like, oh man, and it was so good when I was remembering it. Although, probably later on, if I were trying to remember it, wouldn't sound so hot. Alright, so let's see if I can do something about this picture here. That work a little bit better so you can see the whole thing. Now, unlike Callan, Ibrahim does not have. I actually might, because Ibrahim is supposed to be the temple at this point. Although his mask looks different. His mask absolutely looks different than Callan's mask. Because not to give too much away, Callan kind of breaks the rules with his mask, because the temples are supposed to signify their religious ideologies other than that they believe in God. So they're not supposed to have any symbolic measure of any kind on their uniform or their outfit. Any symbolic markings. And what Callan does is one of the parts of the story that you'll find out later on that it's a no-no, and he does pay a price for it. I think I'm getting tired again. Yes, I am. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and I'll put I'm trying to go into too much detail. I'm doing the same classic mistake that you're really not supposed to do when you're doing artwork. And try to remember this, ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing this. Keep the details to a minimum when you're doing roughs or you're starting off your image. Until you have your composition laid out You should not be putting details in unless you know exactly where it's going and you're that good. And there are artists out there who are just that good. But if you haven't been doing this for a long time and you're not that good at it, and you're trying to figure out a composition, do not put details in there. You're gonna screw yourself. I'm telling you, it's gonna have an adverse effect on your artwork. Your artwork's not gonna turn out the way you want it. You're like, what? I'm going crazy. And you're trying to figure it out. Like, why is it not working? It's because you wanted the detail way too soon, and it makes it 3 times harder, and you end up with frustrated as all get out with your project. Now, I gotta figure out something because I want this to actually come off. So, I might have to actually shrink this image down on the page. Again, this is only a rough, so I'm not that upset that that my composition went off the page a little bit, off of this page. It's supposed to be a page of borders because I can always fix it in the final. I am only in the rough. The son upstairs banging on something. I don't know what he's doing. What he's banging on, but he's banging on something up there. This is gonna be. There we go. Again, I'm trying to go into too much detail. Try to keep the details down. Try to keep the details down. That's the other thing that's going to be the difference between Callan and Ibrahim. Ibrahim's uniform when Ibrahim's is the when Ibrahim's temple, his swords tend to be more like that of Middle East of Middle Eastern, that curved sword, right? Because he actually makes his own weapons. That's the other thing about all of the that's the other thing about all the temple. They all make their own weapons. Part of their responsibility, part of, in case they're caught in situations where they need to be able to in a situation where they need to produce a weapon of some kind. There we go. And they're without weapons, they know how to make their own weapons. They know how to make their own weapons. They are blacksmiths, weapon masters, master creators. Every single one of them is part of their training. sketch. We got Callan. I've got Ibrahim over here, and he's actually going to have the temple mask. I don't know, I might actually take the temple mask off of him and just have it his face with the hood over his face. But then I want Aasia over here, and I gotta figure out how I want it. In this drawing, I kind of don't know. This kind of makes her look masculine in here a little bit. The thing with it is she's wearing a burqa because she is Muslim. Just like Ibrahim, she's a Muslim. You gotta remember something. Ibrahim actually raised her. Oh, you'll find out about that, what happened there in that story. You'll find out about that, baby Jimmy. Said she plays a very important role in the future of Callan and of the Temple Order. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Remember the acronym. Actually save you a lot of hassle in the future. Keep it simple, stupid. I'll tell you this interesting little tidbit though. Ibrahim also trains her. So when Callan is training, Callan is practicing. He practices a lot with her because in many cases she's actually better fighter than he is. And she keeps him on his toes. There we go. Now I'm getting close. Getting close to what I want. Close. And again, these are just me trying to do some rough layouts, trying to figure out how I want this to go. And that's just another rough layout. I'm going to have this is Callan, that's Ibrahim, and that's Aasia. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look at something. And it looks like I am 1 minute and 6 seconds. I'm 6 seconds over my hour. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it's time for me to wrap this show up. Not only that, but it is 5:04 in the morning, and I have got to go to bed. I just realized something when I did my books to back segment. Hopefully, Van Klaus extends his deadline because I just realized I'm not going to be publishing this until Monday, and this is all taking place on Friday, or Saturday morning. So and Monster MD might actually not be available come when this video posts. So I do apologize if that's not the case. If he does extend it, great. Please, once again, back. If you can't back, share it. Also, remember there's other books, very important. These are all great books to follow. We've got Elliot Fernandez, Doom Kicker. All these are on Instagram, folks. Elliot Fernandez, Doom Kicker. You have Doug to Naples, Earthworm Jim. You have Brian Shearer's Gunship Thunder Punch. You also have Von Klaus's Monster MD, and last but not least, we have Lone Star, Soul of the Soldier by Mike Miller. Check them out. I have backed all of these books officially now, and I highly recommend them. All right. Anyway, that wraps up my segment for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully next time I see you, I'll be actually working on one of these finished pieces for you. All right. Y'all have a nice one now. Thanks once again for joining me. If I said that one too many times, time for me to wrap this up. Bye-bye now. Hey there, everybody. Just a real quick update on my books to back segment. Just found out or just realized that Monster MD, Von Klaus's Monster MD, has extended his deadline. He's given us another additional 27 days to back his book. There's good news for all those of us that have missed. He's currently sitting at $36,631. Let's see if we can make that $40,000, possibly even $45,000 or $50,000. Remember, the better our independent publishers do, the more and better material we will see in the future.